And should be live now. What's up, Talos of Tech and Apple Sheep everywhere? How's it going? It's a bit of an odd stream. I apologize. I kind of want to let everyone get in here first, and I'll explain kind of the awkward schedule thing. But for the people who are already in here and are just now joining, I wanted to apologize that my live stream schedule has been a little bit out of whack, and it's because more recently, first of all, I'm an uncle now, and my sister up in Washington, my parents needed a ride to the airport, and it was very early in the morning, and also just scheduling with Project 2X being a very busy thing, and other things getting in the way. I wasn't able to live stream on my typical Thursday night. Wonder what that is. I don't know what that is. Is it working? We should be working. Yeah, apparently you can all see me. How's everyone doing? Oliver Bacon, Andrew Cecil, Chicken Fat, Ojas, Neamsterdam, I Larson. What's up? How's everyone doing? I'm trying to sleep. Don't worry. Just go to bed. You don't have to watch this. I'm just going to yeah, see, I'm still saying good night to people. The family now just getting off of school because all my family is teachers. They needed some help, and I was being with them for a while, so that kind of threw off my schedule for a while. But hopefully I can get back into a regular scheduled stream again. Probably won't do a tech stream tomorrow. I know for a while I was trying to do Sunday streams, but I want to do tonight's stream to reach to those people who didn't get their regular Thursday stream, and then I'll stream again on Tuesday at around 10 a.m. Okay. So, You still want to watch this, huh? Well, I guess you can. You have that option. You're more important than sleep. That is not true. As someone who misses out on a lot of sleep, it's more important. And this will be available. This will be available after it's live. Anyway, and this is not an iMac Pro live stream. That has been ordered. It has not yet been shipped because the expected delivery date is December 28th. So when Apple was like, it'll be available by December, they're really pushing it to the barrier. Like, it might get there on the 31st. Like, who knows? But I do plan on live streaming that, actually. I think that it's a big moment for Talos of Tech as a channel. It's a big moment for me, being this is the most expensive product, not just Apple product, but most expensive product I've ever purchased. And it's going to be carrying us into the future. The iMac Pro is going to be single-handedly powering a lot of what Tailosive is going to be doing for the next few years. So I'll unbox that live just because it'll be exciting for all of us. But yeah, my dad got me like 5 iMac Pros. Yeah, I bet. Will you do HomePod versus Google Home Max? Absolutely. I'm actually considering the fact that I have 3 Google Home Minis at the office and a Google Home Max. Kind of just getting one HomePod to compete with all of them would be kind of unfair to kind of go for the ecosystem thing, and HomePods are kind of being designed to work together. So to truly experience them, because I'm the Apple sheep, like Google, they advertise Google Home Max with 2 speaker setups. But I don't find that necessary. But if Apple recommends me use 2 HomePods, maybe I will get 2 HomePods. I don't know what our financial situation will be by the time that it comes out. But that's something I would like to do, is get 2. Maybe get one and then give one away, or I'll have to sell one. It'll depend on money at that point. We don't know. Doing good this ungodly cold Sunday morning. Yeah, it's a Sunday morning for a lot of... It's still Saturday for me, but yeah. What do you think of Windows Phone OS? It's basically dead, and I think Microsoft knows it. Buy 10 HomePods. If someone donated for 10 HomePods, absolutely. Did you see Last Jedi? I don't want to talk about Last Jedi on here because basically for me to talk about my thoughts on Last Jedi, I have to spoil it, and besides, this is not a movie review stream. I'll be making a video on The Last Jedi on Tailosive movie reviews very, very soon. So if you want my thoughts on that, go subscribe to that channel. Anyway, what is the stream about? It's simply a Q&A. You guys ask whatever you want and I answer it. We do these. We try to do them twice a week, and I'm trying to push it to 3. So that's what this is. There's not a particular point with this live stream. You guys ask the questions, or I can bring up things that I think about. I think you just warranted chat spoilers. Please don't. I mean, if there's moderators here and people start spoiling Last Jedi, I mean, I might recommend if you care about spoilers, then just, don't look at the chat too hard. Burn-in iPhone 10. Yeah, I haven't got much at all. Actually, I haven't got any. I I took this wallpaper myself. I'm really proud of. It'll probably be available to Patreon supporters pretty soon. Looks really nice, and it's also a live photo, which is cool. It fits the 10 really well because the top is dark, which makes the notch a bit more hard to see, and it makes the bottom really glow. This was taken at Table Mountain, which is very close to Oroville. Nice, beautiful park reserve, which is really neat. Anyway. Hey Drew, how are you doing? We're doing good, Nick. Thanks for asking. I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely excited for iMac Pro, which is coming on the way. And there's also a little bit of the Nick Anserini is the guy on the Tailosive Tech podcast. If you guys hadn't heard yet, we're doing a Tailosive Tech podcast, me and him, and sometimes me and my friend, and there'll be other guest stars in the future, family members, friends, and stuff. We have our own podcast, so if you're interested in more tech talks and you just need audio in the background while you're driving or while you're doing homework or whatnot, that'll be on the podcasts app. It's available now. I believe there's 3 episodes as of now, and of course there'll be new ones every single week. Hopefully, we might fall behind on that. No promises. We don't make any money off of the podcasts. It's completely just for your entertainment. But yeah, I got a little bit of exciting news. So my girlfriend is interested in buying an Apple Watch. She wanted to invest in one, and she was looking at the prices for them, and she's like, "Oh, these are kind of pricey. They're not really exactly in my price range." So I provided her with a alternative solution that is actually going to not benefit just me and her, but you guys as well. You can get a new video out of this. I think we've decided this. It's pretty for sure thing. I'm going to sell her my Series 3 Space Gray 42mm Apple Watch. She used to have an Apple Watch, but she actually dropped it. It was a bad situation, but it didn't kill the watch. But then it got a little wet when she went swimming once, and it was a little cracked under the screen, and it doesn't turn on anymore. So that was like a year ago. That was a long time ago. But the reason she took it off was because she was getting into the shower and she didn't want to get it wet. But because it was a Series 0 Apple Watch, it was my first Apple Watch. Now she can have the Series 3, which will be waterproof, so she won't have to worry about taking it off or anything. And it also has cellular data, which she's interested in. I'm going to sell it to her at a discounted price, and then I'm going to upgrade myself to the stainless steel Apple Watch Series 3 with cellular. That'll match the iPhone 10, and because she's paying not full price for my watch, but a pretty good price, it makes the new watch for me a lot more reachable, and it means it doesn't break my bank account so much. So it's basically everyone wins. You guys get a new unboxing for a brand new Apple Watch. This one with the sapphire glass, this one with the stainless steel that'll match the iPhone 10, and I can finally rise up a tier in the Apple Watch options. Yeah, Nick's representing. Stainless steel represent. And no. Before you say you should just give it to her, she would not accept that. I know you guys think you know her, but she wouldn't accept it. I've tried to give her products like that before. I've tried to be like, "Hun, you can just have this Apple Watch." She's not that kind of a gal. She's independent. She's strong. She works hard, and she doesn't take handouts. So she says, "No. You can't sell it." Like I wanted to sell her my iPhone 7 at a I didn't want to sell it to her. I wanted to give it to her. And she refused. She's like, no. You're a YouTuber. You need to make a profit. And she doesn't want me making giveaways just to her. She doesn't want there to be any kind of IOU kind of relationship thing. You'll discover that if you're in a relationship and you start giving them a lot of expensive things, then if drama starts to show up, it can get complicated really fast. So she's not interested in handouts. She willingly will raise the price of the product I'm selling to her higher because she wants it to be fair. Like, I wanted to give her the iPhone 7 Plus, and she said, no, I need to buy it from you. How much? And I said, $100. And she's like, nope. She would encourage it. So don't feel like I'm making her buy it. So, yeah, give respect to Louise, all right? She's a very independent gal. She's very supportive of me, and she wants to see me succeed. And she wants to support me so that I can make better stuff for you guys. She's totally in on this. How long have you two been together? We're coming up on 1 year. We started dating on New Year's Day of 2017. So 2018 will be our 1 year anniversary. Yeah, no spoilers, please. You sold her your 8 Plus too, right? Yes, she wanted that one. So what happened was I got this is a long, complicated story. Basically, there was someone who donated to get the iPhone 8 Plus. Then they decided he didn't want it, so I reimbursed that fan with interest. I still have contact with him, so don't try to sue me. He will back it up. And then I had the 8 Plus, and I needed to find someone who did want it. And Louise had the 7 Plus. She hadn't bought it yet. I was just letting her use it. And then she said, I actually think I want the 8 Plus. So then I sold the 8 Plus to her at a heavily discounted price, not too low, but she wouldn't let me go too low. But at the same time, it was a fair price. And then she gave me back the 7 Plus. I had it just as a backup phone for a while, and then I sold it because I'm a business and I can't have a ton of phones just sitting around. So the 7 Plus is gone now, sadly. I kept the box, obviously, but I don't own an iPhone 7 Plus anymore. But to help pay for the iPhone 10, selling the iPhone 8 Plus definitely helped. So yeah. I'm excited for the Falcon Heavy launch. I know it's not really a tech thing, but I'm definitely excited. You're lucky to have this girlfriend. She's a beautiful, wonderful person. I love her to death. She's amazing. Yeah. Does she do the portless challenge? She doesn't. She didn't. I gave her a wireless charger, but she wasn't terribly interested in the wireless charging challenge because she was going to have to buy a lot more Qi chargers, and it was probably an unfair advantage to me because I have all these companies sending me wireless chargers anyway, so I have probably more than I need. But yeah, it wasn't for her. She had so many lightning cables already, and like her MacBook's really old. She can't AirDrop to it, so she kind of needs it. What's on the desk? This is my iPhone 10. This is just sitting here as a point of reference, and then right here is the 3D printed mock-up of the iPhone 10 Plus. I always keep this with me when I do my live streams because everyone asks, "What do you think about next year's iPhone?" Like, months and months and months. I can just hold this up and be like, "There it is. Okay, now you know." So it's a great product to have around just to show you guys what the next one will be like. What's a wireless charger that would work with my new Series 3 Apple Watch? I don't think it's a Qi-enabled watch. I don't think that you can just get wireless chargers and put Series 3 Apple Watches on them. I think that's pretty much an AirPower exclusive thing. What case is that on the table? This is a case from... how do you pronounce it? Kadabe. I've shouted them out before. They sent me 4 of these cases. They're fine. I've been using this one for a while. There's nothing wrong with it. It's kind of nice and smooth. Interesting design approach, but I just thought I was trying it out because I'd been using the silicone Apple cases for so long. I was like, why not? Let's mix it up. So I've been using this one for a little while. It's a bit smoother than the silicone, so it goes into the pocket easier, but pretty basic. But yeah, you can check it out. Kadabe, Caudabe. There's the case. They sent me a lot of them. How tall are you? I believe I'm 5'11" last time I checked. Why is organizing photos with Apple so difficult? I haven't found it difficult. I like the Photos app, how it's like all photos, videos, selfies, portraits. I guess Google Photos probably has more of that algorithm where you can search for them, but I personally haven't had a problem with it. Why do people keep... I'm curious why people keep asking me about the under-the-display fingerprint reader. Because fingerprint readers of any kind don't work for me. I've talked about this countless times. I have psoriasis, which means the tips of my fingers are incredibly flaky, and they're always changing, which means that I can't use fingerprint readers of any kind. So why do people keep asking, like, what do you think of unscratch? I don't care. They could add it back, and I wouldn't use it still. I can't use it. So it's annoying. It is kind of frustrating. So I'm personally, it sounds like Apple's not going back to fingerprint readers. They're going to move forward with the Face ID on everything. And I'm fine with that because Face ID works for me. And I'm not alone either. I've seen a lot of people actually, say that they have diseases or not all of them psoriasis, or their hands get sticky or sweaty or something, and then they can't use Touch ID. There's a lot of instances in which Touch ID doesn't work. We don't like to bring them up. They'd like to bring up where Face ID doesn't work. But when does your iMac Pro arrive? If all goes to plan, December 28th, and then I'll do a live stream of the unboxing. Wait till you can hide from police since your fingerprints are changing. If I was a murderer, probably, but I am not, so. Would you rather have iPod Nano or iPhone X? This is iPhone. Yeah, net neutrality got repealed. I saw that. It's sad. But I mean, I think we all saw it coming. It wasn't a surprise. But really hoping nothing is too bad. I've been hearing some representatives from Xfinity saying that this is not intended to raise prices on customers, just on websites. So it would raise the income level for internet providers, but they would be charging extra on Netflix and on Google, not necessarily on customers, which I still don't agree with. I think it should be open and everyone, they shouldn't be able to down throttle, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I think Ajit Pai has officially almost surpassed Trump in most hated man in America. There's a ton of memes about him on everything. It's hilarious, but yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. So yeah. Do you have any eye strain while using iPhone 10? I don't. I've really enjoyed it. I mean, a lot of people have actually been asking to do a 1 month later iPhone 10 video, and I don't have much to say that I haven't said before. So if I can think of enough stuff to fill up a whole video with, then I'll probably make one because it's been about 6 weeks now, and I gotta say, no complaints really. Very very minimal. Camera bulge could be a little thinner. But I assume that because the camera's so good, it had to be there. I'm sure there's an answer to that. But really like it a lot. I don't need the lightning port, but again, I don't have to use it, and it's basically not there. I've never used the lightning port, so like, I'm really enjoying it. Loud speakers, fairly water resistant. I've used it in the shower before, just when I'm browsing social media and stuff. Really impressed with it overall. Will you personally use HomePod or Google Max? I think it's most likely that the Google Home Max will become like a not Google Assistant activated, but a dedicated speaker to the iMac Pro. That's kind of my plan, is to have the ultimate setup be iMac Pro, 5K display, all this power, connected, maybe via audio jack even, maybe via USB-C, I don't know, or Bluetooth. There's plenty of options. Making the Google Home Max its primary speaker so that when I'm editing on that or I'm watching videos or gaming on that, it is like the top tier experience. And I'll likely use the HomePod as more of a smart speaker or my music playing device. I don't know. I wish I had the iPhone 10 had a Cat 18 modem and USB-C. I'm sorry it doesn't, but portless is the future, whether you like it or not. So they're going to be removing it. There's not a new iPod Nano coming. I'm sorry. You were browsing social media in a shower. Well, sometimes, you just... I was mostly just curious to see if the phone could do it. Because I was like, it's IP67 water resistant, but I never, test that. So let's test it. So I used it in the shower, and it still worked fine. It was nice. It's actually just kind of nice to have music in the shower. Where are you going to fit the iMac, though? Right here. It'll be right in between these two shelves on this white desk, which will make live streaming a bit more complicated. But I have a few ideas on how we can rearrange the live streaming setup. You know what? How about this? Provide some super chat incentive here. If you guys want to know how loud the Google Home Max is, because that review came out earlier today, someone donates $20. I'll turn it up to 100% volume for a little bit, and you guys can hear what it's like from all the way in a different room. Do you think there's a possibility of on-screen Touch ID sensor just like the on-screen Touch ID develop? Anything's possible. Qualcomm already made one. The trick is making lots of them. And like I said, I don't care because I wouldn't use it regardless. If the next iPhone has Touch ID under the display, I still can't use it. So I don't care. And it would be extra money into the retail price that wouldn't matter to me because it doesn't matter. I think Face ID can be better. I think we've reached the limit of how good Touch ID can be, like how fast it can be. I think we've hit a limit there, whereas I think Face ID has a ton more possibility. Face ID is just now getting started, but if you can get infrared lights to beam at a wider aperture, or if you can get it to work from further and further away, then all the better. Like, Face ID has a lot more room to improve, whereas Touch ID is pretty much stuck where it's at. You rest your finger on it, it reads it. It's fast, but I think it was smart of Apple to move on to other things. Oh boy, Brandon's back at it. My iMac Pro won't be here till January 4th. I'm so sorry, Brandon. That sucks. That's really sucks. Okay, you guys donated. I said 20, but you donated 30, which I appreciate very much. It's going to a good cause. So you guys get to hear what it's like to play the. Let's see if I can do this for you. I'll mute the mic so I don't set off any of your Google devices. I'll try to send mine real quick. Okay, here we go. Okay, one second.
Okay, here's a Google Play Music radio mix based on the royalty-free music playlist.
All right, it's playing royalty-free music, so I won't get in trouble. All right, let me set it to 50%. Can you hear that? Setting it to 70%. Keep in mind, this is a good 40 feet away from us. 90%. Now to 100. God. I can feel it. It's shaking the walls. My goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna get into trouble, so I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. Luckily, no one else is in the office building right now. And that's pointed away from us. That's in a different room down the hall from the office. If you want a tour of the office, we did one on Taylors of Talks. It's down the hall in the lobby, pointed away from us, and the microphone's pointing this way. So I don't know how well that came up, but it's insanely loud. I agree completely with MKBHD. It's stupid loud. Like almost never are you going to use that. Anyway. Is the iMac Pro configuration you bought more expensive than your car? Yes, but I got a very good deal on my car. I bought it used from my sister, so I didn't pay like brand new. I didn't pay for a brand new car. Anyway. Should I sell my Series 2 to go to the Series 3 cellular watch, but use the new watch without data for a while? I think that's a good investment, personally, Richard. It's probably good that, well, first of all, you get not that it really matters, but you get a ceramic back to your Apple Watch cellular, and you get 16 gigs of storage. So even if you don't use the cellular, there's a couple of added bonuses. And if you want to activate cellular later, you can. And if you're with certain carriers, I believe you'll get 3 months free of cellular data. So yeah, there's not too much reason not to go with the cellular, other than the red dot if you don't like that. I don't think the iMac Pro will fit on the wall. iMac Pro boxes are going to be this wide, this tall. I don't think it'll fit on any of the shelves. So I'm definitely saving the iMac Pro box, but I don't think it'll make it in the background of the videos. I need Taylor Swift to answer, so I'll ask again. Hey, I just upgraded to a 3GS. How do I download iOS 11? You can't. I'm sorry. That's not possible. There's a certain moment in which operating systems don't work on certain devices. Anyway. How do you feel about 6 devices on a Verizon Unlimited plan? How do I feel about it? I mean, that's a good... I know it's expensive, but it's good coverage. Series 2 also has a ceramic back, my dude. Correct. However, the Series 3 non-cellular has an Ion X glass back. Know your facts. T-Mobile has a better deal, but not as good coverage. That's why, people who live out in the foothills like me, T-Mobile's useless. It doesn't work anywhere. Please live stream at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. PST so people on the East Coast can watch. You usually stream really late or for here or while everyone is at school at work. Listen, no matter what I do, it's going to be at a time for some of you where it doesn't work. I apologize. Keep in mind that maybe I can't stream at 3 or 4 p.m. I have a life too. I've got work and I've got family to attend to. Usually 3 or 4 is when I go off to say or go off to dinner with either Louise or my family. So it's not an infinite amount of wiggle room for me. I can't just live stream whenever I feel like it. It's late for you, but it's in the morning for other people. So we have fans all over the world. What car do you have? It says the Hyundai Sonata. I bet next year there will be a Pixel Watch. Well, if it runs Android Wear, it's not going to be very good. I will post my Last Jedi review. I'm still collecting my thoughts, and I'd like to watch it a second time before I post my official opinions on it. I was affected by the wildfires about 6 months ago. Those wildfires. The ones in LA are very far away from me. I'm not in Southern California. No, I'm not married. Are you still in contact with MKBHD, and did you have any conversations with other tech YouTubers? Okay, so I've been replied to by iJustine once. I've been replied to by Unbox Therapy once. And then, of course, the only big YouTuber I've had a collab with is MKBHD. Yeah, I read the super chat. That's about all the interaction I've had. And the ones with iJustine and Unbox Therapy were not agreeing ones. We didn't agree on something. It was mostly us disagreeing on things. I'm imagining he saw the video I made about his video, or he saw the tweet I made at him about, just because a product is half the price of a good product doesn't mean it makes the better product worse. So it's late for you, but it's early for others. I'm trying to reach people all over the world. There's lots of different time zones. Why do you use a blue background if you don't want to use a chroma keyer for custom? Well, wait, what? Did I say I don't want to use a chroma keyer for custom backgrounds? I personally think custom backgrounds look bad no matter what. I see PewDiePie do his green screen backgrounds and how they change the color. I don't think that looks good. I think it's distracting. It becomes very obvious. If it's early, if it's too late and you don't understand why I'm live streaming, just don't watch. It's that easy. You don't have to join the live stream and then ask why I'm live streaming. I have a Series 3 non-cellular. I'm 15, bought it myself, and I wanted cellular. It would be $560 plus data bills. My non-cellular is $460, and I still love it. I'm glad you love it. I have a friend who bought a non-cellular as well. It is cheaper, but I'm just saying that the cell bills, at least where I live, are not that bad. First of all, the first 3 months were free, and then after that, it's $10 a month. So it's like the price of Netflix for you to leave your whole phone behind and just use your watch. Incredibly helpful for someone like me who goes on mountain bike rides or runs all the time, where you don't want your phone in your pocket or something dangling off of you. Extremely convenient in that regard. If your phone battery ever dies, the watch keeps working, which is really helpful. But yeah, I mean, it is cheaper. There's no denying that. I can't argue with that. I just mean that I don't think this is this provides a lot more, and it's not that much more money, at least where I am. Which color HomePod are you getting? Well, we did the vote on Twitter, and we're getting Space Gray because everyone wanted the Space Gray one. If you've already bought a Series 3 without cellular, you don't need to upgrade to one with cellular. It's unnecessary. Have you ever considered switching from Apple to Samsung? No, because they don't have an ecosystem that can rival Apple's. It's that simple. I have switched to a Galaxy S8 phone before. I've used a Note 7 phone before and stopped using my iPhone and just used that. And while they're cool, they've got nice features on them, they don't compete with the iPhone. It's a different field. iOS integration with the Apple Watch and how it works with my iPad and MacBook. Samsung doesn't recreate that feeling. They try really hard to bridge this gap between Windows 10 devices and phones and watches and tablets, but it doesn't work. It works really, really well on smartphones and okay on smartwatches, but Samsung tablets they're okay, not the best when it comes to iPads versus Samsung tablets. It doesn't work as well. And I also very much prefer my MacBook because of Final Cut Pro and Mac OS over any Windows 10 computer, and also having iMac Pro, one of the most powerful I think it's the most powerful all-in-one computer you can buy. Let's see. Why does Apple need to wait an extra month to sell the Nike version of the watch? They have no internal differences. Well, I think no, they do have a slight internal difference. They have a different operating system, like a different watch face or something. But I think they're just trying to make it exclusive. Like they partner with Nike on them, so I think the manufacturing is a little different. Like literally on the etching, on the inside of your watch where in the circle it writes like that it has a ceramic back and that it's an Ion-X glass on the front and 42 millimeter. All in there, I think even on the Nike one, it has different writing and stuff. So there's very slight differences, but when did you switch to Final Cut Pro? Like 9 months ago? I mean, I've been using Final Cut Pro for quite a long time, but yeah. What you think about the V30? I know you have a vid. Well, I haven't used it, but I wasn't interested in it because it just looked like a standard. I mean, it didn't look bad. It was impressive that they could have all those features in one phone, but I knew that if I bought it, I'd be like, it's fine, but it still runs Android, and that's my main issue with it. I'm not going to switch away from my iPhone just because this phone has a headphone jack and a tall display. I mean, it looked like every other Android phone this year. I mean, think about it. Pixel 2 XL, LG G6, Galaxy S8, Note 8, and now LG V30. Like, they all kind of took the exact same... OnePlus 5T. They all kind of took the same exact design approach with all basically the same features. So, I don't know. Not exciting to me. If I could change the topic for a second, are you still doing 2x hints for $15? I'll try if you donate, but I'm really running out of hints. I'm trying to think of one. Is there a hint I could have ready for Project 2X? I don't know. I'm primarily going to be using the iMac Pro for video editing long term from now. I anticipate getting cameras that need a lot more processing power than this guy can handle. As of right now, I'm completely aware that what I need the iMac Pro for is completely overkill. I don't need an iMac Pro to edit 4K videos. I don't need an iMac Pro to edit 1080 at 60. Those are things that my MacBook Pro can do just fine. I'm buying this thing for the long haul, not necessarily because I need it right now. But I appreciate my goal is to advance my equipment both in camera and in audio to the point where we will be taking advantage of all that iMac Pro. I am very excited for it. Okay. Well, I saw that you need a computer to fix a bricked iMac Pro, but again, I have one. I'm not losing the MacBook Pro, and I also have another iMac that's older. But yeah, I don't use Snapchat. Does the Series 3 use the same watch bands as the original? Yes. As long as you're 42 millimeter, they work the same on the Series 0, 1, 2, and 3. Let's see. What is the product that has gotten you the most excited? Ever? I guess the 10 was definitely up there. Mostly just for work, though. I was excited for that to be over with. iMac Pro definitely has me excited. I was definitely really, really excited about the MacBook Pro back before I had one. Because I hadn't had a computer before. That was really exciting. No, Final Cut Pro is not free. You have to buy it, but once you buy it, it's available on all your computers. So yeah, I own it on the MacBook Pro. It'll be on the iMac Pro. Do you work out? I do. I do push-ups every day, sit-ups every day, and squats, and I walk. I do lots of walking. High five, Knox. Yes. Yes, Face ID will make its way onto the Mac, absolutely. If wireless charging on MacBooks existed, would they have to be made of glass? I don't think I would like a glass laptop. Another reason Pixelbook sucks. Well, most of the Pixelbook is aluminum, to be fair, but yeah. I think they might have to make a portion of it glass, or keep in mind that wireless charging can work through plastic. So, they might make a very dedicated section of the MacBook Pro a more plastic feel. But again, keep in mind, the top of it could still be aluminum. This part could still be aluminum. This part could still be aluminum. Just the bottom, which you never see. So I feel like if they changed the bottom of the MacBook to glass, it wouldn't disrupt very much. You never look at that. Do you think Google as a company will be able to create a strong ecosystem over the next few years? Something that could possibly rival Apple's ecosystem? They could. They definitely have the possibility to. They're not doing it at this point, but I feel like the fundamentals of Google are not going to cater to a lot of Apple's fan base. A lot of Apple's fan base is about the best products, and a lot of Google's is about getting it cheap so that you can use the Google Assistant more often. It's potential. I mean, they're Google. They have a ton of money, and they could definitely do it. But I just mean, like, I don't see them going in that direction. They seem very focused on AI and machine learning. And in terms of computers, they seem very focused on cloud-based things, which Apple doesn't believe is ready yet. They're more about, like things like the iMac Pro or the Mac Pro or the iMacs or the MacBook Pros. They're about powerhouses in video editing, and they appeal to those types of professionals, whereas I don't think Google does. Google appeals more to students and people on a budget. Not with the Home Max, surprisingly. That's why I like the Google Home Max so much, is that it does not fit in with the rest of the Google ecosystem. It's the one product they went all in on and tried to let's make it the best one, which I'm proud of. I'm give them props for that. Can I inquire about a bulk order of your t-shirts? I need 1,000 so I can hand them out to students at my school. It's a project I'm doing for my church. Wow. I'm not really in control of that kind of thing. I'd really appreciate it, but I do not do the shipping, the printing of the t-shirts. That's all done by Spreadshirt. I am not necessarily sure how. I don't know if there's a system where if you buy a ton of them you can get a discount, but that's really cool that you would do that. But yeah, I think the really only way to do it is to just go in there and quantity turn it up all the way. But yeah, sorry, I don't control that part of it. Do you have an iMac currently? There's an old one here on the floor that I don't use very much anymore. It's a 2012 iMac, but yeah, I have it. I'm not going to sell it. I've looked up how much they go for, and it's nothing, so it's not worth selling. Do you think Apple should do the unlimited cloud storage like Google? I would like that if they did, but I understand why they can't. They don't make any money off of that. Google uses their pictures in the cloud storage. They sell that data to other people for research and for AI development. So when a product is free, you are the product, whereas Apple keeps all that encrypted. So I wish it was unlimited, and they'll probably get to that point. They'll probably end up making enough money from hardware alone that they'll be like, yeah, unlimited storage, why not? That might happen eventually, but not at this time. How do you think the net neutrality loss will affect us in the future? I think like most things, while it will sound really bad, it actually won't be as bad as we think. That's what I hope for. It could be bad, I don't know. But I'm predicting that it won't actually be as horrible as everyone thinks it will be. Because it seems like people are really, really hyping up how bad it will be, and usually when the internet does that, it ends up not being true. You don't need to smack the like button. It doesn't do anything. Do you use the iPhone 8? No, I do not own one. I sold that. Are there any leaks on the Apple Watch 4? I did a video on it. There's really not much. All that we've really heard is micro LED technology is in development, which is just basically better than OLED displays in every possible way. It's just very hard to manufacture. So that's all we got. The only leaks we have are people saying that they're working on new display technology that's more efficient, brighter, and thinner, and it's just hard to make. What name is the new iPhone? I'm going to say 2018 iPhone, but I could be wrong. Project 2X, the iMac Pro, or any other Apple software hardware? No. Project 2X, as I've said before, well, that would be a hint. So you know what? I'm not going to say it. If you have $15 to super chat, then I'll provide that hint. Series 3 cellular or Series 3 no cellular for saving money? Well, obviously one is cheaper than the other, so for saving money, the non-cellular. But I think the cellular one is worth it, personally. Guess as a demo on how loud the Google Home Max is. Well, earlier we did the Google Home Max thing. So you can watch this after it's live, and I played the Google Home Max at 100% volume just a while back. Apple has never sponsored me. I've never been contacted by Apple. I've never been approached by Apple to do anything. They've never sent me a single cent. Out of the different models of the iPhone that will be released next year, which one do you think will sell the best? Likely the 10 Plus. Oh, actually, no. Actually, I take that back. Likely the updated iPhone 10. I was going to say Plus because usually the most expensive one is the one that does really well. But I do think that this is going to be overwhelming for a lot of people, and a lot of people won't prefer this. A lot of people will admit that this is too large. Got 2 iPhones instead of 1. What should I do? That's an interesting problem. Sell one or give the other one away as a Christmas gift to someone. I don't know. You care about? I don't know. I don't know what you should do. If Apple does contact you, would you disclose it to us? Anytime I have a sponsored video, I'm open about it. Anytime a company send me a product for free to review, I will say so, and that includes Apple. They're not against that. It would probably hurt my reputation a little bit because now everyone would be like, well, he's sponsored by Apple, so of course he's going to say all these things. It's propaganda. Whereas right now, because Apple's not sponsoring me, everything I say is pretty, you have to just accept because Apple doesn't sponsor me. But again, if I was being sponsored by Apple and didn't tell you, how would you know? So there you go. But they do not sponsor me. They do not. I would love it if they did. I don't even want money. I just want the product. If they could just send me all of the latest and greatest products of every product line, I'd be so lit. I'd be so happy. If you're sponsored by something on YouTube, you have to disclose it. There's no choice. Well, you can decide not to disclose it, but you can get in trouble. But again, you can't get away with it at the same time. So, Project 2X combining all Tailosive channels. Interesting theory. Interesting theory. What market should Apple enter next? I'm saying AR glasses. Well, first of all, they've not technically entered the smart speaker market, which I'd like them to. The video that's about to come out in about 9 hours. Tomorrow's video for me tomorrow, for you today, will be about what I think the HomePod lineup should do. I think they should diversify just like the Google speaker did. But apart from that, the smart speakers, which they've already announced that they're going to do, I think that the next move should be AR glasses. And then a car. I want them to make a car. I don't think they will, but I would love that. Why don't you ask for a V30 review unit? They don't send free phones to people like me. That's not what happens. Thoughts on the stainless steel Apple Watch with Sapphire? Worth it? I definitely think so. I'm going to be getting one really soon. For those people who just joined in, I'll be selling my current Apple Watch to my girlfriend because she's interested in buying one and at a heavily discounted price. And before you say you should just give it to her, she won't let me do that. She is her own person and she wants to support me, so she does not accept gifts of that expensivity. She wants to pay for it, so keep that in mind. And then I'll be using that money to upgrade to the stainless steel one. I think it'll match the iPhone X really, really well, and the sapphire glass will definitely be helpful, keeping a little of those scuffs from coming back. I think it's going to be an open source car software, not a full car. You know, that would make sense. It sounds like that's what they're doing. It doesn't sound like anymore they're actually going to, how do I say it, make a hardware car, but they're working on software, which I think is good. I think they should partner with Tesla. Because as people have said, the Teslas are cool, but their biggest problem is the UI. It's not very thought through. Project 2X, a second host for a double amount of videos. To be honest, I hope there isn't a second person. Why not? Why? Come on, guys. Why would it be so bad if there was a second person? How did you meet a girlfriend like that? Well, we were friends for over a year before we started dating, but I just knew her as someone who really knew how to take care of herself. She had a lot of family in her life that was not smart with money, so she decided she was going to be smart with money, and she works very, very hard 4 days a week and then goes to school the other 2 days and makes good money and takes care of herself and pays her bills, and I like that in a person. I like someone who, especially someone like me who, I don't mean to brag, but this is completely factual, just someone at my young age, yeah, you're 19. Someone at my age, at 19, making the kind of money that I'm making, can be definitely easily abused by people who want to try to take that from you, like people who want to try to date you or people who want to try to take your money or take advantage of your money because they know you're very rich. Like that's something someone like me has to kind of look out for. So looking for another person who knows how to take care of themselves and knows how to treat things fairly is something I look for in a significant other. And it doesn't hurt that she's incredibly attractive and she's a smoking hot, beautiful woman. I love her. She's a wonderful gal. If you want to see her, go to Tailosive Talks. She's in the vlogs on there all the time. Talking about Apple Watches, I like my ceramic one more than the Apple Watch. I might Get the ceramic one with the Series 4 coming out. By that point, I feel like the channels are going to grow significantly in 2018, and by that point, I might be able to financially afford a ceramic one. I wouldn't compare myself to a young Bill Gates. We're pretty different. Yes, I'm 19. Oh my God, we're back to this again. You don't look 19. Whoa, I'm so sick of this. We're not talking Last Jedi. It's too many spoilers too early. Gaming on Mac does not suck. I mean, this is an age-old argument. I can't believe people still talk about this. I'm just saying that the argument that Macs are incapable of gaming is no longer true. My MacBook Pro can handle quite a bit of actual AAA games that are out today. Now, that's different than saying Macs are meant for gaming. That's not the argument I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that if your primary goal with buying a computer is to game, that a MacBook is the best choice. I don't agree with that. I'm just saying that the argument that if you buy a MacBook, it is not capable of gaming, that's not true. First of all, we have programs like GeForce Now, which mean you can play any PC game at very, very high resolution and frame rates on any Mac without even dual booting. And then, of course, there is dual booting. So if you want to actually run it locally, you don't have great internet, you can put Windows 10 on a Mac. And their GPU and CPU, while not the best for gaming performance, can play a lot of AAA games just fine. So I wish that myth would die out when people keep saying that, oh, you spend that much money on a Mac, it can't even run this. It's like, it can. It can. Samsung is pretty good. If Apple didn't exist, I would be in a Samsung ecosystem, but they're the second best, and I go for the best. I use Boot Camp, yeah. I have Windows 10 on my MacBook Pro when I want to run games on it, and it runs them really well, yeah. Please don't remove another port. I'm okay with as many ports as they want to remove as possible. As long as you can make it wireless, yeah. Do you ever have problems with Face ID? Yeah, I mean, not as bad as Touch ID. Touch ID was a nightmare. I could never use it. But Face ID, sometimes in sunlight, I've started to notice it slip up. When it's in direct sunlight, sometimes I can have issues. Usually it works just fine with sunglasses, but I actually found a new pair of sunglasses that it won't work through, like they're too dark. But yeah, that's all things that can be improved with software, and Face ID is the future. I don't think there is a perfect login method. I'm saying Face ID is the best way to log in, but it is by no means perfect. A MacBook portless challenge would be annoying because how do you charge it? Like you can apply the portless challenge onto devices that do not require them. It is possible to use an iPhone 10 without ever plugging something into it. Whereas MacBook Pro, you can't really do that. So there's no point. What should I get? iPad Mini Gen 1 or MacBook Pro with 2TB SSD to play Subway Surfers? Get the MacBook Pro. I don't know why you're asking that. It's ridiculous. Think it's only going to get better. Exactly. Think of Gen 1 Touch ID. Exactly. What's your favorite Apple product you currently own besides the iPhone 10? Probably Apple Watch. Gotta say, I use that thing I use this constantly. I like leaving this behind sometimes. MacBook Pro, they're all great. I love the iPad. I love the Apple TV and the MacBook Pro. They worked really well, but Apple Watch is probably something that if it was not a part of my ecosystem, I would notice it very well. If the MacBook Pro was gone, it would make my job a lot harder, but everyday life would be pretty much the same. If the iPad was out of my ecosystem, it would be a little bit more annoying to use all of my social media stuff and all of my work stuff on the laptop only, exclusively. But yeah, I'd say Apple Watch is something I would definitely notice being gone, and it would suck. I don't care about Team 10 or Clout Gang. I don't know much about either, so don't ask about it. It's not related to tech. Do you think it's misleading for Apple to advertise their glasses sapphire, even if it's not 100% sapphire? No, they're allowed to do stuff like that. If it's mostly sapphire, get that hashtag trending. If it's mostly sapphire, I understand why they call it that. I mean, What I think is a total ripoff is my friends recently have we have them in the other room have an Xbox One S. I've already reviewed it, so I'm not going to review it again. But an Xbox One S will tell you it has 500 like this is the 500 gigabyte model, and only like 300 excuse me, only 380 gigs are usable. Like I think that's a ripoff. iOS does that a little bit because some of it's reserved for operating system stuff. Like it'll say it's a 256 gigabyte phone, but actually it's more like what is it? My system info here would tell me. It's actually 240. So there's 16 gigs in there that is reserved for just for backup stuff. But an Xbox One S, 500 gig hard drive and only letting you use 383, I think that's annoying. I get that all operating systems do that. I just mean that the Xbox does it significantly. Like it gets progressively worse. On the 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte model, it takes up even more backup space. I just think that's annoying. I don't like consoles of any kind. There's no new iPods coming, no. Is Project 2X about your secret aging formula? Oh, sorry. Oh my god, I'm sorry. There was a super chat a while ago. I didn't see it. Guz95 asked, iPhone SE2 think it's going to sell well? It'll sell mildly okay. I'm predicting that the sorry, I missed that. I'm totally blanked out on that. I don't know. The last one sold okay, but it's definitely not like going to outsell the 10 or the more premium flagship iPhones. It'll sell just fine. It's more Apple just doing us a favor. They when they make products that are meant for being affordable, they don't make much money on them. They just try to break even with them. But I'm anticipating the SE2 to not be that exciting. I know what we all want. We want the SE2 to get the 10 treatment with the minimal bezels and the wireless charging and the new cameras. That's what we want, but I don't think it'll happen. I think it'll be pretty much the same. I'm very excited for iMac Pro, absolutely. I've heard of the XPS 15, yes. It runs Windows 10, so I'm not overly excited about it. It's a good laptop. It's got good specs in it. It's well designed, but I'm not a Windows 10 guy. I have a Windows 10 computer in the other room. I use Windows 10 on my MacBook. I am not a fan. So I'm not terribly excited about just a really good laptop that runs Windows 10. I've tried to build a Hackintosh before as well. Do you think Apple will release a second generation of AirPods? I hope so. I mean, like, eventually. I don't think maybe it won't be in 2018. I know that they're introducing the wireless charging case, but there's no actual changes to the AirPods themselves. Yeah, in terms of actual AirPods upgrades, like, I guess they could make battery life better. They could switch to Bluetooth 5. They could put the W2 chip. There's minor things they could do. I would appreciate if they made more color options. Like the HomePod. There's space gray and white. Why can't they make AirPods have space gray and white? How cool would that be? Christmas merch drop. There's a couple of merchandise ideas I had, but yeah, I forget about them a lot. Favorite comedian is Brian Regan. I do not invest in Bitcoin. While it was probably a really good idea to, no, I didn't. I don't have money for that kind of investments kind of stuff. If you could only keep one Apple product on the Apple website, what would it be? iPhone 10. I could run a whole YouTube channel from it if I needed to. Does the Apple Watch Series 2 work with AirPower? Some articles were saying it does, but I remember Apple saying that it doesn't, so I'm not really sure. I guess we'll find out. I guess it's not really clear. They're not very clear about it. How would you react if Apple bought Samsung or Google? I'd be really happy. I don't know why they would. Samsung wouldn't sell themselves, and neither would Google. But yeah, it'd be funny. Shout out to your fans in the UK. Thank you. Why don't you like the Switch? Mostly because it's not about selling hardware. It's about selling games. I can get it when it's software. Like, I think the iPhone X is a beautifully designed hardware experience and software experience. Whereas I don't think the Nintendo Switch was designed to be a pleasant hardware experience. I don't see the point in dedicated single-purpose devices anymore, devices that just play games. I don't have much loyalty to Nintendo. I don't care about Breath of the Wild Zelda. I don't. That's not interesting to me. That's not a franchise I'm interested in. I don't care much about Super Mario Odyssey. It's just not. It's all when it comes to consoles. This isn't just the Nintendo Switch, by the way. This is the reason I don't own an Xbox or a PlayStation or a Nintendo Switch is because they're not based upon making the best hardware. They're based upon making the best games, and I'm not interested in most of the exclusive games they have on there. The Switch runs games significantly lower res and frame rate than a gaming PC, which I have. So I prefer when I'm comparing when I prefer game when I'm talking about types of games I usually go for graphical performance, how well the game looks, which we have a gaming PC here already for. So I'd take that over that. Have you done an office tour yet? Yeah, on Talos of Talks. Several times. People keep asking. We keep doing them. They're there. But yeah, if you're not interested in Nintendo games, then the Switch is meaningless. Whereas this is a multi-purpose device that can do lots and lots of things, whereas the Switch can do a couple things. What would Apple improve with Apple Watch Series 4? Well, I think micro LED is the primary thing, and I think the next thing is that functionality. They've really got it down with the cellular and the waterproofing and the OS. They've really got it. So what they need to do is make it exciting in a design sense, just like they did with the iPhone 10. Without bringing up design, not a whole lot changed with the iPhone 10. Well, I mean, that's not fair. A lot changed, but it's not why people got excited for it. So to get people excited for the Series 4 Apple Watch, I think they could minimize the bezels if possible, make the display larger while the form factor stays the same, and they could make it thinner, make it lighter on the wrist. I don't like Little Pump, and I don't listen to Eminem, no. Watch Talos of Music. That's the kind of music I'm into. Will you make a sarcastic everything wrong with iPhone 10 like you did with iPhone 7 Plus? There's not much to joke about. I guess I could. I know a lot of people really like that video, but maybe if I can think of enough jokes. What would the joke be? There's a notch at the top. Don't look there. What's usually there? Like the time and the Wi-Fi icons. They're still there. Yeah, but what? Yeah, I don't know. Jokes like that, I don't know. We'll see. Samsung and Apple both copy each other. It's stupid to say that Samsung doesn't copy Apple, and it's stupid to say that Apple doesn't copy Samsung. Everyone copies everyone. Samsung copies Xiaomi. I mean, everyone copies each other. That's just how the market works. I did not see you do live streams before you made a video with MKBHD, though I want to ask about everything Apple Pro, and what do you think about him / why he ignores you? I don't blame him at all. I think it's personally reasonable to say that we're very different kinds of tech YouTubers. He focuses on mods and hacks and jailbreaking or glowing Apple logo mods or drop tests, and I'm more into theoretical like concepts, and I guess he does concepts and stuff like that, but we're different types of tech YouTubers. He very easily could have just watched one of my videos and been like, this guy seems annoying, I don't want to talk to this guy, and then not want to collab. That's fine. No hard feelings. I don't want to force YouTubers to collab with me. That's stupid. And I don't want you guys to pressure other YouTubers to collab with me. If they don't want to, it's fine. Don't make them. He got a lot of comments about me because I called him out in a video and said if he was ever interested in collabing, I would love to. But then he deleted those comments, for those of you curious, because he was just like, I don't want to be dealing with this. And that's fine. That's fine. iPhone 10s are getting in stock a lot faster. Yeah, they're already getting down to 1 to 3 business days delivery. And I've been hearing that that's not because less people are buying them. It's actually just because the factories are finally catching up. I'm still subscribed to everything Apple Pro. I watch all his videos. I don't mind that he ignored me. I would choose the Essential phone over the Razer phone. That's a way better deal. iPhone 10 will be like $700 to $750 next year. That's quite a price drop. I don't think it'll drop that far. I think it would more likely drop to $900 or $800. $300 price drop. That's a lot. if you go to the Apple Store and you want to purchase one, yeah, they'll likely have them in stock. I'll be going to the Apple Store on Monday to get the stainless steel Apple Watch Series 3, and then that'll probably be the unboxing for that day, the video for that day, which will be an unboxing. And I'd appreciate it if we didn't spam emojis, guys. That's kind of annoying. Don't do that. Will Apple make their own CPUs on the Mac eventually? They're already starting to. I heard there's a T2 processor in the iMac Pro, so they're already working on making their own CPUs. It's only a matter of time before they start putting them in the computers. They're getting there really quickly. He makes like a 10-minute video on iOS 11.2.1. Should you upgrade? And the video is just holding him phoning the phone entire time and blabbing and how it doesn't really change anything. I know, like, it's kind of stupid, honestly, that we have 10-minute videos about all these minor changes, but you got to admit, for the people who are curious about what changed, he does a really good job. Like, I watch those. Like, when I'm curious, when I'm on the developer program, the beta program, when I update my phone and I'm curious about what changed, watching his videos pretty helpful. It's kind of stupid that there are all these minor things, and most of the time nothing major changed at all. But at the same time, it's like, thank you. I appreciate what Philip or Felix, or I think it's Philip, his name, for going through and finding all the changes and posting about it very, very quickly. It doesn't take him long. Guz95 donated again. Thank you. Says Lou is on a Banglador promoting the OnePlus 5T, the phone he recommends that's better than the iPhone 10. What a coincidence. Yeah, I don't. Lou, I think no hate towards Lou. I disagree with him, but I don't hate him. I don't think he's a bad YouTuber. I do think though he caters a lot to the businesses that send him free stuff and the businesses that pay for him to review his product. I mean, it is a business. You got to pay the bills. I don't blame him for that. I'm sure that if certain companies wanted me to give positive reviews to certain products, I probably would. As long as it wouldn't disqualify my actual opinions. Like, if someone said, we'll pay you $10,000 to say that you don't like your iPhone anymore, I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of rude. That's like me caving to the man and not being honest. But it is $10,000, which would allow me to do other things. But if it was something more like, this didn't happen. But for example, if a company sent me like a Roomba or a Roomba-like device and paid for me to say, tell everyone you love this product and tell everyone to get it, then yeah, I would definitely be swayed to tell everyone to get it. That's not what happened. They just sent me one. They didn't pay me. By the way, what do you think about iPad Pro's 120 hertz refresh rate? Do you think the iPhone next year would have it? Well, currently you can't do 120 hertz on an OLED display. That's just the science of it right now. But if there was a way, then yes. I've heard that the touch input on the iPhone 10 is 120 hertz, which means that it can read you very, very quickly and efficiently. So there's that. But yeah, visual, it's still 60. And that's one reason I don't think that the iPads next year will switch to OLED display. They're going to keep LCD for the sake of 120 hertz. Yeah. One guy seems to think it's important to know if you use Linux, so I'll ask too, since you've answered me a few times. The reason I don't answer that is because I've answered that a billion times on other streams. I've not used Linux because I don't even like Windows, and Linux looks more complicated, and it's not part of my Apple ecosystem, and that's the primary reason I like macOS. It sounds overly complicated, which I've answered many times before. That's why I try my best not to answer questions I've already answered before, because a lot of people like to watch all these and they get bored very quickly when they discover that I keep answering the same questions over again. Here's an interesting question. Do you think the new iPads will have a bigger screen or a smaller form factor? I personally hope they go smaller form factor. I think display size is just fine, but if they shrunk the bezels on the 10.5-inch iPad so that it was the same size bezel all the way around, that'd be a good fit. That'd be a good form factor. Because I have a 15-inch MacBook Pro, I like having an iPad that's a lot smaller. It's helpful. It's portable, but also bigger than your phone. It's good. I'll review AirPower. Yes, as soon as AirPower is available, it's bought. macOS is adapted from Unix, which is a sibling of Linux. Yeah, I know. I know. I know the origins. I'm just saying. it's not Mac OS. It doesn't have Mac OS things. I primarily like Mac OS for Final Cut Pro. That's one of the only reasons, and that's not on Linux. So, hey Drew, what is your feelings about products getting leaked before they are released? I think it's stupid to hide them at this point anymore because we hear about all the leaks now anyway. We hear about what's in development months and months and months before it actually comes out. I think hiding it doesn't actually help anything. I think they think it does. Like, we have to keep this secret because then the market will copy us. But I mean, look at the Essential phone. That came out so much longer before the iPhone 10. And yet it was the same form factor and it had the cutout on top and they were totally going for an iPhone 10 look on an Android device. I don't see the point. Like, if anyone with a YouTube access, anyone can go on YouTube and figure out all of the leaks for next year's phone. Like, Apple, is it really going to hurt your product sales if the market finds out that next year's iPhone is going to be bigger? Oh no! The competition knows that there's going to be a bigger iPhone 10. Ooh, like what does it matter? Why not just be open about it? Why not make like a Apple Music exclusive TV show explaining all of the R&D department's investigation, what they're trying to put on it, their goals and what goals they can and can't meet? I thought that would be a lot more interesting. Opposed to just trying to hide it the whole time. I don't feel like that gets anything done. I think it's very, very obvious what next year's iPhone's going to be, and trying to keep that a secret for a year doesn't get anything done. Anyway. Your thoughts about the stylus? What stylus? On the Note 8 or the Apple Pencil? Apple Pencil's a great stylus. Note 8 stylus unnecessary, too small, both on the display and the stylus side. I don't need them. Yes. For you joining in, I've watched The Last Jedi. I'll be talking about it on Taylosive Movie Reviews. I have the 15-inch MacBook Pro, which only comes with a touch bar. So yes, I have the touch bar. It hurts their sales because if people know the new phones will be better, they won't buy this year's iPhone. That happened regardless. That's what I'm saying. If you try to hide things, leaks get out anyway. When you're making 50 million products and you need 6 months to do it, you can't hide many secrets. So many people did not buy the 7 because of anticipation from the 8 and 10, and yet the entire time, no one was. Everyone knew exactly what the 8 and 10 would look like and feel like. So I'm saying keeping it a secret doesn't do anything. If that's what a YouTube account can do, imagine what the competition knows. Samsung makes the parts in the phone. They know way more about it than we do. I did a video on the Galaxy X. It's my opinion on bendable smartphones. I think it's a gimmick. How come you paid extra money for internal 2 terabytes of storage? Instead, you could have bought an external USB-C 1 terabyte hard drive, and then you could transfer files between your iMac Pro and MacBook. First of all, I already have a terabyte external drive with USB-C, which I already use. Second of all, having local storage on a computer, especially PCIe-based, is always better than buying external. Hard drive would be way slower than a solid state. Also, I plan on dual booting the iMac Pro to show you guys its gaming performance. So I'll probably reserve 400 to 300 gigabytes of that 2 terabytes just for Windows 10 so that it'll have room for games that'll run locally. Also, importing things is faster when you have PCIe-based storage. Transferring files is faster, exporting is faster, opposed to external storage, which, by the way, I'll have regardless. I have 4 external hard drives already. I have the 1 terabyte mobile one, that's USB-C, that I use for this. Second, I have a 1 terabyte Western Digital MyBook hard drive. Third, I have a 4 terabyte Western Digital external hard drive. And fourth, I have an 8 terabyte external hard drive. I've collected these over the years. I've had them since forever. Since I've owned an iMac, I've had these things. And because the iMac Pro has traditional USB ports on it, all of the old hard drives will just be plugged into that at all times, which means that the iMac Pro will have 2 terabytes of dedicated solid state, which is built in locally, easy to access, exporting things is easy, boot camping is easy. And then on top of that, I'll have 13, 14 extra terabytes of deep storage that I don't need to access often, but it'll be there. So I'll have plenty of storage. The 2 terabytes was chosen because my biggest problem with the MacBook Pro was the storage always running out. 256 is way too small for someone like me. I don't use RAID. I know what it is, but no, I don't use it to back up. So we've reached an hour, guys, and it's getting kind of late, and I appreciate all the donations, but going to wrap it up there. There should be another tech stream on Tuesday, and there will be a new tech video up today. So thank you all for your questions and comments and donations. I'm excited. And again, the next video will be about the future of the HomePod and why I think it's delayed and what changes they can make to it. So hope you... Oh, one last super chat. Why did you choose the 2 terabyte SSD on iMac Pro instead of buying much bigger external drive at the same price? Okay, so I thought I just answered that. But what I mentioned earlier, because you just donated, I'll repeat myself. I already have 13 terabytes of external hard drive already, so I can plug that in regardless. And having PCIe-based storage is 10 times faster than having an external hard drive. It's also more complicated when you're dealing with cache files in Final Cut Pro and backup rendering. You have to set all that locally. It's very hard to put that rendering on a different hard drive that's not a part of the main hard drive. I'll use backup storage regardless. That's happening no matter what. Whereas the 2 terabytes internally just allows more wiggle room for boot camp as well as local files like cache files. Anyway. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you for your donation. Really appreciate all your comments and questions. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.